hydraulics and pneumatics. So now we are going to see the actuator part, right? So this is what output. So we know that input is a hydraulic pump, output is it may be the cylinder or it may be the motor, right? Okay, so input, process, output. So input, it may be the pump. The hydraulic inputs are pump. We see there are some types of pumps like gear, band, piston, and variable displacement, and the pump performance. In output, it may be the motor or it may be the cylinder, right? Similarly, in process, it may be the control valves, right? So now I start with the hydraulic actuators. Right, so introduction to hydraulic actuators. So it is a type of actuator that utilize the hydraulic pressure as the input in order to provide mechanical work output. Right, so actuator or actuators, some of them said actuator, right? So actuators. So it is a device. Hydraulic actuators, it's a device which is used to do some work. Right, so hydraulic pump, if you consider hydraulic pump, it will convert mechanical energy to hydraulic energy. In other way, low pressure input to high pressure output. The pump, the function of pump is to increase the pressure to pressurized fluid, to convert the pressurized fluids. But hydraulic actuators, it's a device which is used to do some work. Right, so hydraulic, the inputs are hydraulic energy and outputs are mechanical energy. So if you compare pumps and motor, both are similar. Only thing is reverse of pump, we can say it's a hydraulic actuator. Hydraulic pump, the reverse of hydraulic pump, we can say it's a hydraulic actuator. In other way, mirror image of hydraulic pump, we can say it's a hydraulic actuator. So where hydraulic pump is the mechanical energy to hydraulic energy, here hydraulic energy to mechanical energy. So they develop forces and displacement. The actuator develop forces and displacement, which is required to perform some specific task. It may be the move the object, or to press the object, or to lift the object, or to clamp the object and do the work, etc. Right. So hydraulic energy is converted to the mechanical energy with the help of hydraulic motor. The mechanical energy, which means you do some work. It may be the move the object, or it may be the lift the object, or it may be the clamp the object, or it do some work on that workpiece, right? That object, right? So actuators are common for both hydraulic and pneumatic systems. So it is common for hydraulic and pneumatic system. Only difference is hydraulic actuators are made sufficiently stronger to withstand inside oil pressure and to develop huge amount of forces. Right, so hydraulic actuators are made sufficiently stronger. So compared to hydraulic and pneumatic, hydraulic actuators has more stronger because it works on the oil pressure. Right, so under to develop huge amount of force. Whereas the pneumatic cylinders are made lighter using aluminium and relatively thin cylinders, as inside compressed air pressure is just about the 5 bar. The maximum pressure, generally the maximum pressure of pneumatic system is 5 to 6 bar. So we can use very lighter cylinder load. So whereas the pneumatic cylinders are made lighter. Right, so there are types of hydraulic actuators. If it is a linear, the final output is a linear, then we say it's a hydraulic cylinder. If it is a rotary, then we say it's a hydraulic motor. In between oscillatory accelerator, it may be the restricted rotation motor. So we are going to see the linear actuator as well as a rotary actuator. Right, so the output is linear, then we say hydraulic cylinder. If the output is rotary, then we say it's a hydraulic motor. Right, so now we go with the introduction part of hydraulic motors. So hydraulic motors are rotary actuators. This is one of the rotary actuator. It is limited in rotation to less than 360 degrees. So generally it won't complete, right? So it is the rotation is only less than 360 degree. So as we know, for hydraulic pump, mechanical energy is converted to the hydraulic energy. For hydraulic motor, fluid pressure or hydraulic energy is converted to the mechanical energy. So hydraulic motor is a device which converts fluid power into rotary power or converts fluid pressure into torque. So fluid power in the sense it may be the pressure, right? The pressure is converted to the torque, mechanical efficiency. So if you compare comparisons of hydraulic motor with hydraulic pump, motor converts fluid energy into mechanical energy, and those are the mirror image of pump. So we can say mirror image of pump, right? So for pump, the input is mechanical energy and the output is hydraulic energy. But here, the for motor, input is hydraulic energy, output is mechanical energy. So it is the reverse of hydraulic pump, or it is the mirror image of pumps. The same mechanisms are used for both. So here also we have a gear motor, van motor, as well as piston motor. It the motors works the same. It works working principle same as the pump. The purpose of pump is to produce the flow, to increase the flow, or to convert pressurized fluid. Right. The purpose of the pump is to produce the flow. The load sets the pressures. Right. The purpose of motor is to receive this flow and reproduce the rotary motions. Right. So the pump, the purpose of flow is to produce the pressurized fluid. Output, the purpose of motor is to receive the pressurized fluid and reproduce the rotary motion. Right. This is the purpose of motor. So hydraulic motors are actuators that can rotate continuously and have the same basic configuration as pumps. Right. So the configuration wise, the construction wise, both are same only. However, instead of the pushing in the fluid as the pumps do, motors are pushed upon by the fluid. Right. So where the pump is pushing on the fluid, so it pushes the fluid into the hydraulic system. The motors are pushed by the fluid. Right. So this is the difference between pumps and motor. In this way, hydraulic motor develops torque and produces continuous rotary motions. Right. So in other way, hydraulic motor is a device for delivering torque at a given pressure. The main emphasis on mechanical efficiency and torque can be transmitted. So if it is a hydraulic pump, it's a device for delivering flow. So here we got torque. Here the pump we got flow rate. Right. So it is a device for delivering flow at a given pressure. The main emphasis on volumetric efficiency and flow. Right. So motor usually operate over a wide range of speed from a low RPM to high RPM. So generally motors are run with low RPM to high RPM, but pumps working on only high RPM usually operate at high RPM. So most motors are designed for bidirectional. Right. So bidirectional means we can change the direction of rotation. So most motors are designed for bidirectional applications such as braking loads and rotary motors, but pumps usually operate in one direction. If you want to convert unidirectional to bidirectional, then you need to change the bearing and then timing gear, so that you can convert hydraulic pump also. It's a bidirectional way, but it's a very difficult process. But motor, it has own advantages. It is used for bidirectional applications, and motors may be idle for long time, so it won't affect them. But pump usually operates continuously. Right. So pump usually operates continuously. Motors are subjected to high side load from gear chain to belt driven pulleys, but majority of pumps are not subject to side loads. Usually pumps are a pad mounted on power back, top, and the shaft is connected to the prime mover and directly. So here the pumps are subject to high side load because the input is high energy energized fluid, but the pump it is not a high side load. It is low load only. It is connected to the external shaft. Right. So the applications of hydraulic motors. So hydraulic motors can be applied directly to the work. It may provide excellent control for acceleration, operating speed, deacceleration, smooth reversal, and positioning. So these are some of the applications for hydraulic motor, and we can directly connect to the work. They also provide flexibility in design. Right. So they also provide flexibility design and eliminate much of bulk and weight of mechanical and electrical power transmission. So if you compare electrical motor, hydraulic motor has a compact size. Right. So it provides a flexibility in design and eliminates the much bulk and weight of the mechanical and electrical power transmission. The applications of hydraulic motors in the various combinations of the pumping units are termed as a hydrostatic transmission. So the hydrostatic transmission is defined as the applications of hydraulic motors with pumping. So the combinations of hydraulic motors with the pumping units are termed as the hydrostatic transmission. Right. So hydrostatic transmission, it converts the mechanical power into the fluid power and then reconverts fluid power into soft power. So it is a combination of pump and motor, or it is a summation of pump and motor. So the advantage of hydrostatic transmission includes power transmission to remote areas, infinitely variable speed control, self-overload protection, reverse rotational capability, dynamic braking, and high power to weight ratio. These are some of the applications for hydrostatic transmission. Right, so hydrostatic transmission is a term which is the application related to combination of hydraulic pump with hydraulic motor. Right, so again there are many applications we can use. The one is material handling equipment. So material handling equipment, machine tools. So in order to hold the machine, hold the object, or in order to move the object, we can use material handling. So that material handling equipment we can use the hydraulic motor. So because it will do some process that is done by the hydraulic motors. Again, machine tools. Machine tools mean we need to fix the cutting tool. So the cutting tool holding is done by the hydraulic motors. In numerical control machines, farm implements and then farm tractors. So farm implement means some of the applications like cultivating the soil, all those things we need some structure or a heavy structure that is that can be controlled by or that can be performed by the hydraulic motors. So lawn movers, road machineries, high performance aircrafts, many automobiles, railway locomotives and buses use hydrostatic transmissions. Right. So now we go with now we are going to compare with hydraulic motors with the electrical motors. So if you consider electrical motor, it cannot be stopped instantly, right? So electric motor we cannot stop instantly. It may cause some error. It may cause damage. It may damage some internal part. The direction of rotation cannot be reversed instantly. So we cannot change the direction instantly, right? So this is because of air gap between the rotor and stator of the big magnetic field. So hydraulic motors can be stalled for any length of the time. So we can stop at any time. Hydraulic motors, but electric motor is very difficult to stop, right? So we can stop, but it will damage the internal part. The direction, the reversing of direction, it is not possible in electrical motors, but hydraulic motors it is possible. We can change the directions. Reverse, we can change the directions. Can be infinitely varied. So their direction of rotation can be instantly reversed and their rotational speed can be infinitely varied without affecting their torque. They can be broken instantly and have immense torque capabilities. Electric motors are heavy and bulky, but hydraulic motors are very compact. Right? So electric motors are very heavy, but hydraulic motors are very compact compared to electric motors. For the same power, it occupies only 25% of space required by the electric motor. So for example, the space, if occupy the 100 meter cube, 100 mm square, if the electric motor occupies 100 mm square, then the 25 mm square is enough for the hydraulic motors, right? By the electric motor, and weight about 10% of electric motors, right? So only 10% of electrical weight, right? So again, the classification of hydraulic motors. So there are two types of hydraulic motors. One is high speed, low torque motors. Another one is low speed, high torque motors. Right, so high speed low torque motors means shaft is driven directly from either the barrel or camshaft. So shaft is directly driven. Low speed means we use some differential gear or timing gear. So shaft is driven through the differential gear arrangement that reduces the speed and increase the torque. So if you connect the shaft directly from either the barrel or camshaft, we say it's a high speed because we won't reduce. So how much of the shaft speed is directly converted to the motor speed. But low speed means we use some intermediate part like differential gear arrangement or other timing gears. So we can reduce or we can increase the speed and torque. Right. So this is the high speed and low speed torque. Again, depending upon the mechanisms employed to provide shaft rotation, hydraulic motors can be classified as follows. It may be the gear motor, van motor, and piston motors. The gear motors, it is similar to gear pump. Only difference is here we can use external gear motor also. Some internal gear motor also available. For van motors, it may be the unbalanced van motor or balanced van motors. For piston motors, it may be two types. One is the axial piston type motors and then radial piston type motors. So the working principles of gear, van, and piston is similar to the compound. The only difference is its compound. We have some difference. Remaining the major configurations or other working elements are same compared to motor as well as pump, right? The fixed and variable displacement motors. So gear motors are the least efficient and the most dirt tolerant and have the lowest pressure rating of 3. Right, so it has a very least efficient. So piston motors are the most efficient, least dirt tolerant, and have high pressure ratings. Right, so the least is efficient in the sense gear motor, most efficient is the piston motors. Most dirt tolerant is means gear motor, least dirt tolerant means piston motor. Lowest pressure rating, here highest pressure rating. Right, so the van and piston motors can be the fixed or variable displacement, and gear motors are available with only fixed displacement. Right, we know that fixed and variable displacement. So gear has only fixed displacement. Right, so gear has only fixed displacement, whereas van and piston may be the fixed or variable displacements. It may be the variable and fixed displacement. Right, so up to this. Thank you.